It's the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes, but don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there is a fight, and she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone, and when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way the things will really go with Sandra. And some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies, but someday we'll realize it's Sandra. And when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind, and soon you will be a friend with Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wants to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wants to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra.
Hello, good morning, honey chow. Happy Friday. It is Friday, January the 9th already. Oh my goodness. Good morning, Zeus. I see Zeus here in the studio with me. He just walked in the door. Do you have dogs that know how to open doors? Give me one quick second. Well, he's one of those. He definitely knows how to open a door. All right, let's get Zeus sorted out here. 1 second, please. Okay. Yes, he knows how to open doors. So he just walks right into the studio. He just pushed the door open. He's so smart. He even knows how to open the sliding glass door from the side, like sideways. Yeah, he pushes it open and walks in and out when he feels like it. Happy Friday, everyone. As usual, lots going on around us in the world, in Cayman, and beyond. So we're keeping an eye on everything for you. So the police finally did provide some details on the the police did provide some details. My apologies. I just chuckled at something someone sent me. So the police did provide some details on the oh my apologies. Let me just double check a story I was working on. Because I don't actually see where it has published. I scheduled it, I thought, for this morning, but let me have a look. Give me 1 second here. I just see it I don't see it online, so I'm a bit. Okay. Missed the schedule. How can it miss a schedule? Never seen that before. All right, let me report this little message here because I know I had it scheduled for this morning and it says missed the schedule. How is that possible? All right, let me just manually do it, I suppose. Yes, so the police did give us some additional information, and one of the people that passed away over the weekend saying that we were talking about Mr. 42-year-old West Bay man, who we know is Thor Nicholson. They said that he failed to resurface after swimming near Big Channel at Barker's Key. So, wow. That's sad. Not sure really what happened there, but very sad. We'll keep an eye on that situation. They said that basically around 4:05 p.m. on Saturday, January 3rd, they received a report that a person had entered the water in the vicinity of Big Channel and had not resurfaced. So they responded immediately and began in-water search efforts to locate the missing swimmer. And they then said an individual matching the description of the missing person was found and brought aboard. And they tried their best efforts to provide life-saving assistance, including CPR, and they transported him to Scott's Landing. I don't have any clue where Barker's Key is, Big Channel. I'm just not a water person, so I have no idea where any of that is. Is that off of like West Bay? I mean, normally when you hear Barker's, you think of West Bay, right? But I don't know where that is. So they transported him to the hospital, but unfortunately, he was pronounced dead by the attending physician. So not sure. I mean, there's so many things that can happen when you get in the water. You can like have cramps and not be able to help yourself. You can, have a heart attack, like a coronary event. So there's a lot of things. So I guess the medical examiner might be able to tell us in due time, the coroner's inquest, I guess, but they'll probably just rule it death by misadventure as they do 99% of the things that happen. So really unfortunate. Okay. So that's making local headlines this morning. We're also looking for the owner of a bag. If you know this gentleman, his name is Roy George Jackson. Date of birth, November 30th, 1957. He's originally from St. Andrew, Jamaica. Apparently, he's lost his bag with all of his documents in it. I'm not sure how you lose such an important bag, but anyway, it had multiple passports in it. So this is his document. So, sir, you might want to reach out to us. We posted on social media last night. But if anyone knows this man, see, he's like me. He's got his little multicolored little, the little bank bags that they give you, and then you put all your stuff in them. So he's got a ton of those. And yeah. So, so Mr. Jackson, please reach out to us. We would like to reunite you with your documents. Reunited, and it feels so good. So give me one. Oops, sorry, I had to just mute that tab. So yeah, Mr. Jackson, reach out to us. Someone's found it. I don't know how you lost it or who took it or what happened, but someone has it and they want to make sure that you get it back. So do reach out to us. Yeah. All right, honey chill. Good morning. Multiple passports, all in his name. Yeah, I know. Child, y'all think like me. Can I just tell you? I was like, say what? Suspicious. I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, what do you mean by multiple passports? Detective Sandy on the job. But honey child, I said the exact same thing. I was like, all for him. When they said multiple passports too, I said, all for him? That sounds suspicious. How many? Are they expired? I mean, you can have expired passports, but I think that's what it is. They're like older expired passports and he's just kept everything. So yeah. Interesting. What can I say except it's interesting? Honey chill. Yes, this is the things that make you go, But I think he's okay. We just want to reunite him with his passports. But yeah, I thought of I said the exact same thing. What do they say? Brilliant minds. How does that saying go again? Like people think alike. Brilliant minds, something, but then they give you the opposite as well, which is so true. Brilliant minds. Let me try and remember now. Something about brilliant minds, something, but fools seldom differ. What's the first part of that quote? Somebody help me out here, because I cannot recall what it is right now. I'm sending out the links. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to get those. Brilliant minds seldom differ. No. Brilliant minds think alike, but fools seldom differ. Something like that. Great minds think alike and fools seldom differ. Which is like the same thing. It's like the opposite side of the coin. Yeah, brilliant minds think alike, but fools seldom differ. It's the same thing. Right? Thinking alike and seldom differing, it's like the same thing. So yes, brilliant minds can think alike, but it is equally true that fools seldom differ. There you have it. I tell you, never know. Yep. I saw a very interesting, I'm creating some short links, by the way. Give me 1 second. I've subscribed to this short link thing, which is going to make our lives easier, I think, in the mornings. And I'll show you what I mean by that for those of you who are in the channel. So, when we copy like the YouTube and the Facebook links, like they're really long numbers at the end and all kind of whatever. So now I'm going to create a short link that is going to be consistent from one day to the next, so that even if I'm pushing y'all towards being more tech savvy in this world, but even if you can't get the direct link for the show, I will update these links daily. So going forward, I'll show you what I mean here in a second. Just give me 1 second. Let me send it out to everyone. So that going forward, as long as you remember these links, and I'll show you. And of course, use the website. You can watch it on the website. We're encouraging people to use the website. So let me just show you here. what I mean. So this is just one extra step that I've added to my morning routine, but it doesn't really take that much. So this is what I'm going to do. So going forward, so that you don't have these long numbers, I'm going to do it like this. The YouTube channel is always going to be this URL. So I'll just update the backlink for the URL. So don't worry about it. If you're not tech savvy, you don't need to know all the technical stuff. All you have to know is if you want to get the YouTube feed, now I'm not sharing the vertical one because you guys can figure that out yourselves if you want that, but I'll share the horizontal one. That's opposite. I'll share the vertical one and not the horizontal one. Okay. So if you want the horizontal, oh gosh, I'm totally confusing them. If you want the vertical feed, then you can look that one up yourself. Okay. So you see, in the mornings now, all you have to do is go to cmrky.com/T, the cold hard truth, the initials, TCHT2, and then that will always take you to the YouTube feed. If you're looking for the Facebook feed, then you can do it that way as well. Just to make your lives easier and mine. Because sometimes I look at the proper backlink code and it's so long. I'm like, oh my gosh. Now, visually, this is a visual thing. And you can, it's visual and branding. So now it is a short code just like that. So if you jot that down, no matter what, you'll be able to find the show in the mornings. Look at me always trying to make your lives easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yes, honey child. All right. And of course, the easiest thing to do is simply join the channel. And then you're all good to go. Whoop, whoop. All right, honey child. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. All right. So, let me see. We do have someone who's coming on at 8 o'clock. I'm going to walk you guys through. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you, darling. He says, yes. Good morning. It's great minds think alike and fools seldom differ. Speaking of how people think, I want to share something with you guys because this one's kind of interesting. You've heard me mention before this Dunning-Kruger syndrome. And I don't know how much of you have paid attention to this, but this video, which I think is so interesting, has broken it down. And it actually talks about the history of how the Dunning-Kruger theory came about, which I didn't actually know. It had a little bit more of an interesting story than I thought, but I'm going to make you guys listen to this video. Hold on. It says it's parsing. So let's do that. But yeah, this is very, very interesting. And it's one of those things where it's the same thing that we're saying. Fools seldom differ. And that includes, believe it or not, even with political views. This is why the party mentality is something that can work on some people. Some people remain party loyalists no matter what happens. Don't make no difference, honey child. They're going to be there no matter what. And then there are those of us who we're not really loyal to parties. We're loyal to actions, ideologies, and that sort of thing. So give me 1 second. Morning to your Instagram folks, by the way. So good to see you guys here. nice and fresh on this Friday morning. All right. So here's what I'm talking about. I have no clue why every morning lately I've been having to readjust how my comments look. Something keeps changing it. Trying to figure it out. It's a bit suspicious. Got a ghost in the studio. Morning, Miss Lucille. Good morning, Miss Pat. Miss Judy, yes, great minds think alike. And fools seldom differ. Here's an example of where fools seldom differ. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to show you. All right, here it is. Ready?
President Obama is not getting paid royalties for Obamacare.
Why is there no audio?
As President Trump posted on Truth Social earlier today. It's not true.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me see why I have no audio on that video. Let's try this one. I see it downloaded it twice.
Oh, President Obama.
Okay. Something's going on in the neighborhood. All right, give me a second. This is a bit strange. Why it didn't download it with audio. You guys can hear it? Oh. Okay. Then why can't I hear it? Okay, so somebody said you guys can hear it. So let me see why I can't hear it, because that is weird. Can radio folks hear it too? All right, let me see what's going on. I don't hear it on the radio. Oh. Huh. This is suspicious. All right, give me 1 second. Audio. We should all be able to hear it like we do everything else. All right, let me play it.
Oh, President Obama is not getting paid royalties for Obamacare. As President Trump posted on Truth Social earlier today. It's not true. There's no truth to it. It's insane. The claim, if you can call it that, originated on a website called the Dunning-Kruger Times. More on that in a second. That's part of the America's Last Line of Defense network, which is, by definition, describing itself as a network of parody, satire, and tomfoolery. Everything on this website is fiction, the website says. It's not true. But while we're on the subject of the Dunning-Kruger Times, I want to tell you about the Dunning-Kruger effect. And it starts in 1995
but you guys can
when some bank robbers outside Pittsburgh are picked up because they had robbed a bank with no mask, no disguise, no sunglasses, no mustaches.
It's a bit strange if you can.
They were caught on closed circuit TV. And they were stunned that they were caught. Why
this
were they
one
stunned?
Has misstumped.
Because they were under the belief that if they put lemon juice on their faces, they
Loud
would
and
be
clear, says
invisible.
Atlas. And then radio can't hear it, and I can't hear it.
A Cornell psychologist, a Cornell professor of psychology,
morning, Nathina.
Mr. Dunning, heard that and was stunned and wanted to find out.
Okay. That's a bit strange. I can hear you and the video, and I can't hear it. And then radio folks can't hear it. Let me see. This one's different. Okay. I kind of feel like that shouldn't be a board setting. Did something go kind of wonky on the computer? But we were hearing stuff up till yesterday. Let me try a totally different video. Hold on. Let me try one that I played yesterday and see what happens. Okay, let's try this one. Let's see.
Dreaded this moment since the early stages.
I can't hear a thing. Oh, hold on. I think I know what's going on. Hold on.
The study.
I figured it out. Look at that. Half a brain on a Friday. I had my tab muted. All right, let's replay it for radio listeners as well. Okay. Yep. So you guys can hear it because I guess you can hear it on social through the board. But because my tab was muted, I couldn't hear it. And then radio folks couldn't hear it. Weird. Remember that in case I do that again. All right, here we go.
No, President Obama is not getting paid royalties for Obamacare, as President Trump posted on Truth Social earlier today. It's not true. There's no truth to it. It's insane. The claim, if you can call it that, originated on a website called the Dunning-Kruger Times. More on that in a second. That's part of the America's Last Line of Defense network, which is, by definition, describing itself as a network of parody, satire, and tomfoolery. Everything on this website is fiction, the website says. It's not true. But while we're on the subject of the Dunning-Kruger Times, I want to tell you about the Dunning-Kruger effect. And it starts in 1995 when some bank robbers outside Pittsburgh are picked up because they had robbed a bank with no mask, no disguise, no sunglasses, no mustaches. They were caught on closed circuit TV, and they were stunned that they were caught. Why were they stunned? Because they were under the belief that if they put lemon juice on their faces, they would be invisible. That's what they thought. A Cornell psychologist, a Cornell professor of psychology, Mr. Dunning, heard that and was stunned and wanted to find out more. And he did a study. And basically the study suggests that the less somebody knows about a subject, the more they think they are an expert on that subject. In other words, stupid people don't know how stupid they are because they're so stupid. That's what the Dunning-Kruger Times is.
So, we've talked about this before. My cousin is this is one of her favorite psychological analysis viewpoints. When people, especially in the world of politics, say and do certain things, she's like, she's like, Sandy, the Dunning-Kruger effect is in in play again. And I just chuckle. It's so funny. It's funny, but it's not funny. But yeah, that's so true. People go around, and that's why I started to say, you know what? I'm going to start fact checking some of you because we think you're intelligent because you jump in the comment section and you say like, oh, this and $15 million back in 2015 and da-da-da-da-da-da. And boy, it sure sounds good. Sounds like this is someone who knows history and has a very good recollection of what was happening in 2015 under the Obama administration and what they were doing. Da-da-da-da. And then when we fact check it, we're like, say what? Here's a perfect example. Well, why didn't the Biden administration release the Epstein files? That's the argument that they always put out there. And it's like, dun, dun, dun. Hello. He couldn't legally release it because there were proceedings still ongoing. So there was no way he didn't have that power. But you guys say it like it's a matter of fact. Why didn't he do it? And I'm like, oh God, I am going to start fact checking you guys for real. And so thank God that we have the ability to fact check. All this stuff is being recorded and archived. And, I can give you references of where the information, the original source of the information, it's like amazing. So yeah, that's why they can now fact check speeches. Like when President Trump gets up and does a speech and they can say 75% of what he just said in that speech was total hogwash. It's because they have the ability to fact check now. Isn't that amazing? What an amazing time we live in. I feel like we are just so blessed to be able to do that. The problem is, there's just too many times when someone is not going to fact check and we're going to just run with the flow of what we think. Until our guests come in, of course, everyone is viewing and analyzing and reanalyzing the video from the fatal shooting from Wednesday of American Renee Nicole Good. Washington Times has done an amazing job at frame by frame, slowing it down, having forensic people look at it. And he shot at her 3 times, right? Shot number 1, number 2, number 3. And this is the analysis that they have come to after they've done their frame by frame of the actual, when he actually shot. Okay. And what they have come to conclude, by the way, they now know who he is. And he seems to be someone who has used excessive force in the past. So this is not necessarily a surprise. But when they broke it down, they actually see that he was not even, the ICE agent was not even in front of the car when he fired the 3 shots, not even the first shot. So yeah, that's pretty wild. You know what's even wilder is that I have people here in Cayman saying, well, she shouldn't have been there. Why was she there? And I'm just like, what? Wow. That's wild. So you can't go and protest anymore. And like I said, I don't know the extent of her protest, but you can't go protest on a street in America. You have no right to raise your voice because you shouldn't be there just in case you might get shot illegally by someone. And then it becomes your fault. So crazy. Y'all need to get it together. Here's another funny story about how fools seldom differ. Remember Doge with that idiot Elon Musk? They promised to cut, and she also lived in that neighborhood. I mean, that's a fair point as well. Although she might have been, like I said, I don't know if she was actually part of the protest. I haven't been able to confirm that as yet. But Doge promised all kind of savings. Remember when he was on his platform with the big theatrics of having the chainsaw, and we're gonna cut, $1 trillion and this and that. Well, guess what? Federal spending, and he fired all these federal workers. Now they've had to rehire most of them and give them their jobs back, plus back pay and all this kind of foolishness because they did it completely wrong. Once again, how you do things matters. But the savings that Donald Trump promised you guys, and that he put Elon Musk in charge of it. He'd even last the full year of the project because you'll remember how they fell out epically. Turns out that spending actually grew, federal spending grew by $250 billion. Have it make sense? Have it make sense? I'm just like, people will promise you anything. But what they actually deliver is a totally different situation. Not only do they not save you anything, but they end up spending more. $250 billion. Oh my gosh. What a hot mess. I can't even. I just sit here and go, what? Rachel says, thank you for keeping on this subject, Sandy. This should be a watershed moment. And of course, I'm expecting the usual suspects to come in the comment section here shortly and say, no, they're going to try to discredit the facts. Listen, we're all about facts here. And the truth of the matter is, an injustice anywhere is something that we should be concerned about, right? If it happens in American soil, even worse, because they're supposed to be this big time democracy. My gosh, you guys talking about the Chinese. Well, do you want to be ruled by China? But when I see happening in America, I'm like, are you so sure the Americans are better than the Chinese? All of these countries have historically horrible human rights violations, but at least constitutionally and paper, we feel a little bit better about America. But then when you see stuff like this happening, where a woman just gets shot in her face 3 times by a federal ICE agent, it makes you wonder, like, how? That's what I expect to happen in China. And then you're asking me to choose between China and America? How can I make such a choice in this day and age? I mean, not for nothing, but it's a little bit concerning. And people, listen, there's a lot about America that I could point out is extremely concerning. Human rights violations have been happening there from day one. Like I said, that's how they got American soil. And now they want to claim that they were the original Americans. I'm like, oh, please. You people are, chill, honey, chill. Don't get me started. I'm like, really? Is that really where we're going to go with this? Hot mess. Let me see here. Oh, did I hold on one second. I have unpinned myself. You know how you can pin yourself? You're in your own contacts list. Do you know that you can actually pin yourself? I don't know if you guys know this or not, but you can. And so I have myself pinned at the top because sometimes I send myself messages in order to be able to remember to do something, or, you know, here's a video that I need to play later on type thing. So we shared a video yesterday about knowing what your rights are, because the truth of the matter is Caymanians travel a lot. And at any time you can go on American soil. You know, you're going to pick up that Amazon order like me. You're not really interested in staying there. And you could be stopped, and you have to know what your rights are. I always think about this, even when you're going through the airport and stuff like that, you know, because they all are armed. They can pull you. Caymanians have been pulled into that back room, and they'll question you and all sorts of stuff. So what are your rights if you are ever stopped by an ICE agent? Know your rights. You have to know the law and know what your rights are. Have a look at this.
One of the top searches on Google is, what legal authority does ICE actually have?
Americans are asking those questions because we should have a better understanding of what our government has been authorized to do. So ICE is a federal law enforcement agency. They are authorized under the Immigration and Nationality Act. So they are law enforcement, but their authorities as federal law enforcement are limited. ICE has two main components. The first is the Enforcement and Removal Operations, or ERO, and they focus on immigration arrest, detention, deportation. It's largely civil, so not criminal.
All right, just a second. I see our guest has jumped into the studio, so we're going to bring him on because this is something that I do want to talk about and spend some time. And I know he's got, I think, probably to go to work or something by 9 o'clock. So let's pause that video. We've been talking about the government's move to fully enforce laws that are already in place, but enforcement is going to come into place as it relates to these personal vehicles, personal transport devices. So these are the e-bikes, the scooters, and so on. And I know that a lot of you have had questions around this. And so one of the things that I want to talk about is how there are people who have, you know, they've been paying attention, they've been listening, and they are going out there getting completely legal. So we have a guest on the show this morning who has gone about getting his bike registered and insured and properly licensed. Okay. So let me just see here. Okay. All right. So we want to welcome Leroy to the program. Good morning, Sir Leroy. How are you?
Good morning, Miss Sandy and Cayman.
So good to see you in the program. Do you have your e-bike with you?
Oh, yeah, right here.
So let us have a look at the e-bike. There it is. Yay. And he is fully licensed and ready to go. He's got his, oh, I love it. He's got his little mirrors. He has his helmet. So he's protecting his head. And you see that license plate number on the back of his bike. We actually posted this, Leroy, and everybody thought it was a fake post because we kind of, you know, made it pretty a little bit with the background. So when people saw it, they thought, oh, this isn't real. This is real, folks. Let me show you the picture. That's his bike. I mean, yeah, the background isn't real. We put it in a virtual background, and then we put "we are legal" on the license plate But as you can see from the picture he just showed you, that's the same license plate, and that is his bike for all intents and purposes. So Leroy, tell us a little bit about your journey to become completely fully compliant ahead of the upcoming deadline. How hard was it on a scale of 1 to 10? How hard would you say this was?
It was very hard because nobody really wanted to insure it. I tried my hardest to reach out to Saxon, Britkey, ICWI, came on first. Cynical, Indigo. Indigo was the closest one to me. They said they called back a week after New Year. I did so on Tuesday morning. And they said it, and then I had lunch at 2 o'clock, and I went and insured it.
It doesn't sound too bad. So you called a few companies, and then Indigo was the one who said, "Yeah, we can insure it for you."
Yeah. I rode up there on the bike. Actually, it's best to carry the bike to the insurance company so they can see what they're actually dealing with.
Right.
Bear in mind, do carry your receipt for description purposes of color and other things. The VIN number would usually be the serial number.
Oh, this is good to
should either
know.
be on the front of the bike or underneath the bike.
You know what, Leroy, let me just pause you there for a second. Because most people don't even know what their serial number is. So like when their bikes get stolen, which happens a lot with these e-bikes, they end up messaging. They're like, "Oh, well, I don't have that information, Miss Sandy. I just have maybe they have a picture." So at least this also forces you to fully register that stuff with the government. So heaven forbid somebody takes your bike. Now you have proof that that is my serial number.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
All right.
I do believe that DVDL is going to want people to put indicators and brake lights on the back and so forth, which can be bought at AET, which is where the old Digicel used to be across from the post office.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the old Digicel across from which post office are we talking about?
Right next to Victoria's Secret in town.
Oh, so there's a store there that sells little accessories for these bikes?
Yeah, that's where I bought mine from actually.
Okay. All right. So you can get your little, so you've got lights on there. What else did you add as an accessory?
No, I didn't add anything. Mine came like that. The only thing I added so far was real lights. And I'm getting GPS, like when I use a smart air tag too.
Good. That's a good idea.
And an alarm system. A hidden GPS actually. Nobody will even know that's on the thing. So I can track
I suggested this the other day because people steal these a lot. So that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another reason they're going to want proof of ownership of the receipt is also to make sure the bike is legally owned by that person. And as you mentioned on your thing, you must have a Group 0 or a Group 2 license.
Now, tell us a little bit about, did you have this Group 0 or 2 license before?
I have a car license.
So as long as you have a car license, or if you don't have a car license, then you can go get this Group 0 license, and then you're fully compliant on that part of things.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. This is good. All right. So, I mean, it doesn't sound like it was that bad. It's a process for sure.
Took me about 2.5 to get it, 2.5 hours to get it all registered up, half an hour at Indigo, and Indigo does not accept cash, so make sure you carry the plastic.
Okay. And then when you went in to DVDL, did you have any issues there? Who you spoke to, that they kind of know what the process was?
Actually, the only problem I have right now is I need to get a different helmet. They want me to have a DOT helmet, which is Department of Transportation in the US approved helmet, because this is a bicycle helmet, but they let me go with it for right now. Other than that, they laughed at me when I came in. They're like, "Oh boy, the first one coming in." And
That's
like,
good.
And then one of the guys put on his helmet, took it around for a ride. So yeah, she good. Try the indicators and whatnot I had on it.
So they do a little test drive of the
Yeah.
e-bike.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just go in the yard real quick and come on. They don't carry it on the road. Right?
Yeah.
They might
Because there
just go
are
like
people
a
who are modifying these. I actually saw a guy yesterday again where he's carrying all kind of additional boxes on the back and all sorts of stuff that really makes these things unsafe, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm at work right now really, but I'm like on my break just before I go in.
Okay.
And I'm watching these guys ride. I've seen them so far since my ride cross.
Mm-hmm.
With someone on the back. DVDL said that they're gonna make sure the police do enforce that. But that bar on the back is not really meant for
Passengers.
yeah. It's more meant for carrying something if you go shopping.
Right. All right. Well, Leroy, thank you so much and congrats on being the first person in the Cayman Islands to be fully compliant with the regulations that have been in place for years, but they're now going to be enforcing them because I think that you've described a process that was relatively easy. Someone's asking about the amount of the insurance. Can you share with us how much it costs to insure it?
Mine is actually open insurance for anybody 23 to 75 years of age. It costs me $267. Insurance can range up to probably $350. One-time license fee of $75 for the plate, and 130 per year to register.
All right, folks. So you're hearing it first. Thanks to Senor Leroy here in the Cohort Truth.
I could probably show you an example. Well, not an example, but I'll show you actually my documentation.
Yeah, you actually sent it to us on WhatsApp as well. So I appreciate you doing that because it gave us an opportunity to see.
That's
But
that's the logbook. That's one page. That's how much I paid. And then there's another part of the logbook. So it's almost like licensing a car.
Yes.
It tells you the color, the VIN number, the brand of the bike, and all that, the make and the model, the year it's manufactured. And here's the insurance.
Good. Awesome.
I have third party, by the way, which covers me 250,000, and then per person with bodily harm or injury 1 million. Per event, third party bodily injury up to 5 million. I'm not covered if anything happens to me, but if I should knock someone down in the pedestrian or multiple people cover me,
it covers them. Yeah. How much was for the comprehensive? Did you ask the question?
I didn't bother.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But I can give you the number for Indigo if you'd like to get them on.
Yeah, we've actually been corresponding with them by email, so we can get the rates and stuff as well. But I know sometimes it depends on, like, did they ask you questions or did you have to fill out a form like how you would with a car? Like, how long have you been driving and have you had any accidents? It's a similar process, I imagine.
Pretty much, yeah. If you don't have the invoice, but like say your bike is in transit to being shipped, the insurance company would take up a form. You won't be able to license a bike, but you'll be able to insure it. That when it comes in, you'll have the insurance at least. Yeah, so it's almost like shipping a car in. It's almost like licensing a car.
Yeah. All right. Well, Leroy, thank you so much. We really appreciate this. Lavana says, way to go, Leroy. We like to see people being compliant. And we know this is your primary mode of transportation. So really glad that you're going to be safer on the roadway. And again, also protecting, other people out there as well.
At least now they know it's not AI generated.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the backdrop was, but it kind of really threw people off when they saw it. They're like, oh, that's not a real license thing. I'm like, yes, it is. Someone, Natalie, maybe you can answer this question. She says, does it matter the year of the bike? Did you get a sense that
I don't think it matters the year of the bike. I think it matters on the wattage, the amount of speed it can do, the size of the bike, the value you paid for the bike, pretty much. Like mine cost the license shirt cost almost as much as I bought the bike for, which was I bought it for $700.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
but I mean, at least I won't have the guys in the blue and red on my back.
Yeah, exactly. And what are your general feelings, Leroy, about this? Do you feel like this is a good thing as someone who's on the roadway a lot? You're seeing other e-bike users, other scooters and stuff. You're obviously one yourself, and you say you see people even when you're at work up and down. Do you feel like this making it a bit safer for everybody on the road and giving people some coverage? Do you think this is a good idea?
You know, tell you the truth, years ago they used to license bicycles,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know why it stopped all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I think it's good in both ways because it
Mm-hmm.
covers you if your bike is stolen, and it
Mm-hmm.
also is in the government system for that, and then it's also
Mm-hmm.
complaint that if anything should happen on the road,
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
do, because I mean they do have some crazy drivers. As you know, I think everybody's biggest nemesis is Honda Fits.
Yes, that's for sure. They seem to get involved in a lot of accidents. So we have another question here from someone on WhatsApp, and I think I can answer this based on what Leroy just said. But they said, can someone license and insure these bikes and allow others that don't have a license to use it? I feel this is the route folks will be given the upcoming deadline. But no, you have to have, the law says you have to have a license to use it.
Yes,
So it's like a car. You can't go and insure a car and have a car license and then allow someone who's either not eligible to use it because of their age or other criteria and have no license. You, the owner of the vessel, would be the one who legally would be getting in trouble. So,
I talked to a police officer yesterday. He said with this kind of law coming into effect for these bikes, you're actually practically under a car law, a vehicle law.
Yeah, it's the same traffic law.
Even
Absolutely.
even if they catch you with a DUI, they can actually charge you. If they catch
If you're drinking on your e-bike, or if you are intoxicated
in
and
any law
operating
any
Yep.
law that affects a car, it
Yes,
also affects a bike.
that makes
If you,
sense.
I mean, they can ticket you right away. They can do anything they want.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to be as compliant as possible with the law.
Right. That makes total sense now that you say it. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. Yes.
I'm still waiting on them to tell me where you can ride and where you can't ride. That's all I'm waiting on. Because
Yeah.
they're gonna
Issue some guidance on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Leroy. This has been immensely helpful, I think, to our listeners. Number one, you now know that you can get it insured. And I'm going to go through the details of that. And we're actually going to publish a story so that hopefully everybody will see it. And number two, the licensing process appears to have been pretty straightforward. You know, you just got to find the time, like anything else in your life, to go and do it, to get it done.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leroy. We really, really appreciate it. And we see that you've been doing so much better. So I'm really, really happy to hear from you. We have a caller. Let's just see if this caller has a question or comment for Mr. Leroy this morning. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning.
Happy New Year to Cayman.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Good morning and Happy New Year to Leroy.
Yes.
And Leroy thank you. Leroy made an excellent point a few moments ago.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, this is what happens to us in our own country. We drop the ball when it comes to our laws.
Mm-hmm.
Because yes, as a teen growing up in Cayman Brac and having a little bicycle, I remember paying like $2 to get my bicycle license. And I remember my granny had to get a little light and put on the bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told to get a helmet.
That's right.
And when did that ball get dropped and where did it slip through the cracks? It's us having laws, and all we need to do is continue to enforce the laws, and then it wouldn't be to where it is today. So, having said that, Leroy, for being a very lawful person in Cayman,
Mm-hmm.
I am going to get you a gift card, Sandy, for Cayman Bay, for Leroy, to Manabay and enjoy a movie or go to Starbucks or go and get something to eat by one of the restaurants, I'll get it to you by Monday, and Leroy can get in contact with you and get it.
Wow.
And
that's amazing.
I just want to say thank you, Leroy. That sets the precedent. And now you've set the bar high. Hopefully all of these other persons out there that are doing it illegally. And I'm saying it for their benefit because he made another great point, and I hope that they enforce it, because I see these bikes on the road with persons carrying people to work on it.
It's
unsafe.
crazy.
Oh my God, it is so unsafe.
Yeah.
It's illegal. So yes, I'm gonna get a gift card, get you for you to give to Leroy.
Okay,
and thank you, Leroy. You've set the bar high for us for 2026. Let's see how many on the bandwagon and get this thing and become legal in our country. Thank you.
And I'll throw in some brownies. I know Leroy likes those brownies too. Thanks, Marv. I appreciate it. Well, that's really unexpected. Leroy, isn't that amazing?
Yep. Thank you very much, Ms. Marva.
Yeah, absolutely. Any final words for us, Leroy?
No, ma'am. All I can tell you is you all have a great weekend, and everybody try to get legal by next Friday.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, Leroy, we really appreciate you.
This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to get ahead of the rush. So that's why I did what I did.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate you very much. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
I'm going to make you post this. Indigo's number you can call or WhatsApp. It's 746-3446.
Yeah, I think we'll have I'm going to put together a whole list of the different companies that are doing it. But yes, Indigo is definitely one. And I think Cineco might also be doing it as well. All right, Leroy, we appreciate you. Have a beautiful day and a safe weekend.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks, my dear. All right, so he is the first e-bike rider, looks like, who has gotten licensed and registered, and he said it was pretty straightforward. Next week, let me give you the date now. On the 15th, which is next week, Thursday, we are going to have the head of the DVDL on the program to talk about all of the nitty-gritty details. But based on what Leroy has just shared with us, hey, that wasn't too bad. So Scott says, so e-bikes I can see as getting easier to insure as time goes on, but the scooters don't really stand a chance, do they? And this has effectively killed the rental scooter businesses, has it not? I mean, I don't know. There is an argument to be made that the insurance companies might have an obligation. Of course, they can choose which lines to not insure, but I think that some of them will probably feel like they have an obligation to insure them. So we'll see. So Michelle, hopefully you were able to jot down some of the prices there. And there've been other people who've also reached out to us and said that they've gone through the process and it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, good job. Robert says I'll be getting a helicopter license because I'm not taking any chances to ride a bike on our roads. People do it every single day though, Robert. And sometimes I see them doing stuff. As a matter of fact, night before last, I went out on the road at night and my girlfriend and I were in the car and she said, you see this right by Spot Straight coming up close to Ocean Club? There was a guy cycling and had on dark clothing. So it was not, you better make sure you're wearing glasses to have seen him. And he had a little light on, but the light was not really that bright. It was like green. And as I got closer, I could see he was blinking, but it was so faint that from a distance, I could not see him. And he was wearing, again, dark clothing, which is not a great idea. Nothing with reflectors on it. And so those of you who are cyclists, you have got to understand that you are part of the road user ecosystem. And so at the end of the day, you gotta be careful. It's your life really that's on the line, because if it comes down to a cyclist in a car, chances are the car is going to win in terms of the least amount of injury, and the cyclist has a lot to lose. So get your helmets, become compliant, protect yourself as much as possible. So someone is asking about the Bird scooters. Does anybody know who owns that company? I don't really know. But I'd like to be able to get a hold of them. So if anybody knows who that is, please, reach out, because we can kind of see how this is going to work. There's a video here about these scooters on social media that's like really funny, like wheelchair riders running over them and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, people leave them everywhere. I mean, I see them just like, it's just crazy. Here's a post from June where someone says, does anyone know how to connect with the operators, owners of the Bird scooters? They appear to be a long way from home. I'm unable to find a contact number for the business, only an app to rent, and I'm not interested, but I think they should be collected ASAP. So I think that they have some sort of they must have some sort of a GPS thing on them. Is that how they know where their scooters are? I think they must be. So let me just look at the comment sections on this post. So somebody says they have GPS tracking. Eddie said that. Morning, Eddie. The GPS isn't collecting them, says one person. They've been there for a week. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's the other thing with these scooters, is they become a bit of an eyesore when you're just leaving them abandoned on the side of the street. And then this post, the person said that they had been there for a week and hadn't been moved. So I don't know if the battery dies on them, does the GPS still know how to find them? So here is here's some scooters that this person was complaining about that's just on the side of the road. So maybe if somebody knows who owns Bird scooters, they can reach out. We'd be very, very interested in speaking with them. They're kind of all over the place. Let's see. Okay. Here's my guy Ryan Sarant talking about these scooters. Oh, let's see what he has to say. I haven't seen this one. Hold on. This is interesting. Looks like. Let me just download it. Yes. Okay. Kirks. Okay. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Yeah, they you see, they're just all over the place. Like sometimes people do really foolish things on them, though, in terms of how they're riding them and stuff. It's so dangerous. I see people all the time. Oh, they filed for bankruptcy? How did I not know this? Oh my goodness, hold on. Let's get caught up in some bird sauce. Honey chill. Okay, give me 1 second. I got a couple videos on this because I mean, I must admit, I'm not really in the scooter business. I'm probably not paying that much attention to what's happening with scooters around the world, but let's watch a few videos to educate ourselves. So that we can see how this works. Give me 1 second here. Okay. All right. So let's see how someone said that, these laws can impact the business of Bird, but it seems like that's already been done elsewhere in the world. All right. Give me a second here. Let's cue this up. So, okay. Oh, that one's not working. Oh gosh, hold on. Let me see here. Multitasking. That's the story of my life. Yes. Okay. Scooters. Okay. So let's download it and see if we can get this going. All right, Miss Shirley says, same thing I said. I don't think that they thought about that. Thought about what exactly? Natalie says, so any e-bike can be imported to the Cayman Islands. Guess that's a question for CBC. I guess there's standards. Like I don't really know. It's like, do you have the Porsche of e-bikes? Like I don't know how e-bikes work. Are there different models of e-bikes? I mean, obviously there are different models and price points, but do you have like the Honda Fits of e-bikes that they're going to be the ones crashing into everything? I'm not really sure how any of this works around e-bikes. You know, I've kind of thought about getting one at one point, but I was like, I need to be pedaling, child. Honestly, what's the point of a bike? You pedal to get the exercise. So I want a traditional bike where I can just pedal around. All right, here's a few videos. Let's have a look at these.
This startup went from being the fastest to reach $1 billion valuation to being on the brink of bankruptcy. Oh my God. Startup story time. Van der Zanden grows up in Atlanta, single mom, but he's super smart. Time goes by, he creates an app called Cherry. He sells it to Lyft. He's all about transportation, meeting technology. Christmas 2016, he gets his kids bicycles. But the kids are like, no, we don't want bikes. We already have scooters. Oh, why would we have cars for people when we can have scooters for people? Bird scooters, invented. Quickly raises $3 million, builds 100 bird scooters, drops them off in the street in Santa Monica, doesn't even ask for permission, asks for forgiveness. The fastest company to reach $1 billion valuation in less than a year. And then 4 months after that, reaches a $2 billion valuation. COVID happens, they're losing money hand over fist. So they decide to do what every amazing technology company does during COVID. They SPAC, they go public. $8 a share, they go to $9 a share, and then they sink to 30 cents. Kind of on the backs of the idea that, whoops, maybe their financials were a little bit fudged, maybe they overstated revenue, I don't know. Van der Zanden steps down as CEO, company inches away from bankruptcy. This scooter costs like $6. It's just as good. Lesson learned. Not every company is meant to be public. And if you're gonna scale that fast and go that big, secure your market. What startup should we do next?
Wow. Okay, well, that's interesting. All right, let's watch another one.
It's really, really, really sad because these things are an absolute blast. They don't really have them in New York, obviously, but if you've gone to Texas or California or some of the other major southern and west coast cities, you see these or something like them everywhere. There's an app, you pop it on, and they provide hours and hours, if not days in certain cases, of fun whipping around all the major metropolitan cities, and it's just really a blast. Unfortunately, they fall victim to another SPAC debacle. For those of you who don't know what a SPAC is, SPACs were really big for a few years, and it was a vehicle that essentially allowed companies to go public much, much quicker. The problem was a lot of these companies were not cash flow positive, and essentially these things are just going to crap. But the big lesson to be learned from this isn't so much on the investor side, although I guess it could be, but it's very important to be building sound companies that actually make money and have longevity. The sexiness of tech is sexy, but a lot of the time it's just flash in the pan and gone tomorrow. So make sure that you're investing and building real functional businesses that have longevity, that actually fit a need and have a business model that makes sense, that makes money.
Interesting. Okay. So, I mean, I have to wonder if the sort of global company hasn't done particularly well. I wonder how the local company has been hanging on and how they've been doing. Paul says there's no commercial insurance for e-bikes. What do you mean by commercial insurance? You mean as the bird business, he can't get it commercially? Okay. Someone said that the young man, it's owned by Caymanian young man. Morning, Auntie. The bird scooters belong to the young man that killed the worker by Palm Heights last year, Jelani. Really? Wow. Oh, okay. Interesting. I kind of wonder how that business got started, from the perspective that you submit a business license. Did they just issue the license? But did he have to get permission from public transport? Or I don't know, like certain types of businesses, you have to go through like another entity within government. It's not just to get it from the business licensing DCI, but there are other things that are involved. And I kind of wonder with these scooters, because you're putting them all over the island, whether or not there was anything involved in that. But oh gosh, so sad to hear that. Jelani McLean. Okay. Oh. So yeah, several people have confirmed that he's the one who owns the Bird scooters. Okay, he's the guy that was involved in the accident in 2025 with the guy crossing Palm Heights where he was hit by a truck and died. Hit by his truck and died. So sad. Jelani called 911 and stayed on the scene until the police arrived. Right. Okay. Interesting. All righty. Well, that's another hot mess. Speaking of road safety, just a couple pointers. Some people reached out to me on, give me 1 second here, on the phone yesterday. Someone said Dart. I think they collaborate with someone. You think Dart owns it? Oh no, honey child. I don't see Dart getting involved in that kind of business. Not for nothing, but Dart has real money, not play money. If they're going to get involved in a business, it's going to be like buying a newspaper, buying the beach or whatever. Someone says, good morning, Miss Sandy. You don't have a ghost in your studio. You have a Canadian duppy. This is how Cayman Duppies operates. I have a Canadian duppy, but then you said this is how Cayman Duppies operate. So I have which one do I have? It says you have a Canadian duppy. This is how Cayman Duppies operate. So did you mean Canadian Duppies? I'm confused. Which one? Cayman or Canadian? That's funny. All right. Hello. Oh, yes, this person. Thank you so much. Sometimes we have multiple show phones. And I have to admit that I'm not the best at actually looking at the WhatsApp messages that come on the show phone, because most people have my personal number and they're messaging me there. So forgive me. I promise in 2026, I'm going to do a better job of reading the show messages that come in on that phone. So this person actually said on Tuesday, when we were talking about people sitting on the back of these trucks, apparently there've been more of these deaths than I knew about and that I remember hearing about. So there was the one in the BRAC, which was so sad. I had no idea. 4 out of 5 people sitting in the back got killed, and a few of them were cousins. But this other person said, morning, Thomas McLean was who got killed up there. I think that was the East End one. But his youngest brother, I can't remember his name, was thrown off the back of a truck in the vicinity of McRuss and Prospect and was killed. Oh, Thomas McLean, he was killed. That was the guy who was killing the BRAC, the one involving the police officer. But his youngest brother, can't remember his name, was thrown off the back of a truck in the vicinity of McRuss in Prospect and was killed. A car hit the back of the truck and he was in the back. Oh my God. When Norbug was building Galleria Plaza, okay, a worker, a Honduran, I believe, was thrown off the back of the truck with cement blocks, which also killed a tourist in the car. And this is why cement blocks are to be strapped down. Wow. My goodness. So we've had a few people, oftentimes we forget these things. And this is why I say, someone actually sent me a picture yesterday of a truck that was not properly carrying their load. Let me show you guys this, because we're going to post them as Jackass of the Day. Yes, we are. If that's what it takes for y'all to pay a little bit closer attention, that, oh, wow, somebody's actually going to watch me and take a picture and send it into CMR. And we have the license plate number. So someone says, hello, Sandra. I hope your day is going well. I saw this truck today, which I believe belongs to Pro Plus Garden Center, driving with a ladder that wasn't properly, wasn't secured properly. This was super negligent and can be dangerous. I thought the public and ProPlus should be notified. Have a good day. So we will post this up. I mean, I can't say if it's ProPlus or not, so we don't know that for sure. But I'm sure if it is, they'll be able to see it. Let me see here. Yeah. But have a look at this. It's like people can't learn. You know how easy it is for these things to slide right off of your truck and hit the car behind you? So have a look at this. Unsecure load. I'm like, wow, that ladder could easily slide off and hit a car behind you. And then what? People take chances in Cayman. That's pretty crazy. All right, so we'll be posting that one up. And then we have, let me see here. So someone else says, okay, just checking the messages this morning. How to demoralize a nation. Oh, okay. I'll watch that later on. Morning, Thelma Lou and Cayman Brack. How you doing, honey chow? Just catching up with some messages. Mia Motley. We'll post her up a little bit later on. More scammers than we care to know about. Saturday. Good morning. They break into a restaurant between last night and this morning on Walker's Road. Oh, gosh. So sorry. Mr. P's food service done to order food. I don't even know where they are. So, okay. Not good. All right. So let me see what else. What on earth is this? What? Disgusting. This is how men exploit women and women exploit themselves. Oh. Oh my God. Who's JB? Oh my gosh. So, wow. This is for after hours. I can't even tell you guys what I'm looking at this morning. Oh my God. No. We can't. I definitely cannot talk about this stuff. This is X-rated times 50. Who's JB? Oh my gosh. Okay, that's another show. All right, we won't go there because I have videos and this is giving me P. Diddy and Chris Saunders all in one. Whew, what a hot mess. Oh, Jason Brown. Oh my gosh. No bueno. Okay, well, oh, by the way, let's back it up here. I just saw a video from 2023. So, since y'all think, I'm going to give y'all a reality check this morning because one thing that occurs to me is, again, maybe this is the fragility of the human brain. I think our brains are legitimately meant to protect us. And so what that means is that people often forget very, very easily what is happening around us. So this was a video that we posted back in 2013. As I was just looking for stuff on the bird, it popped up here on my search. This was February the 3rd of 2023. So for those of you who say, oh, the government's just trying to make money off of poor people, why are we licensing these vehicles? That don't make no sense, Sandy. No one has ever been killed in one of these. I've told you guys before, I know of someone on a scooter, she used to work UCCI, who was killed. And that's at least one that I can remember. And there may be others out there, but viewer discretion advised. But let me show you what CMR posted back in February of 2023. So for those of you who believe that these things are so incredibly harmless, I'm going to challenge you to say that they are not as harmless as you think. Oh my God. Hold on. I just found another video that's like, what the heck? All right. Hold on one second. These just demonstrate that, you know what? They are proper road users, just like anyone else. And there is certainly the risk you take of being caught up in one of these and being seriously injured is real, even right here in the Cayman Islands. So look at this. So this was someone sent us a screenshot and said, someone got knocked down in front of the Westin, no emergency unseen yet, looks to be a tourist on a bird scooter. Police on the scene are now by the sidewalk at Cayman Falls across from the Westin. My wife thinks it could be a staff from the Westin, judging by the shorts that the person has on. And then look at the video. Look at this. So they were driving by. And look at this person. They were, I don't know whatever happened to them, but they were on a scooter. And look there. Pretty seriously injured to me. Let's slow it down so we can see. See? Flat out, there's a scooter. People trying to help them. Looks like they're bleeding from the head. Because again, your head hits that concrete. It doesn't take much to kill you, in fact, from head trauma. But there's the person. Somebody's there on the scene trying to give them some assistance until the ambulance shows up. Knocked out cold, too. They don't even look like they're moving. So, yeah, folks, don't play around with these things. This is serious business. And this is someone who sent it from a different angle. The ambulance finally came and took them away. Ah, boy, I tell you. What a mess. Not trying to fearmonger, but I'm trying to show you guys what has actually already happened on our roads. Now, here's one out of Tennessee. Have a look at this madness. So they're, for the benefit of our radio listeners, this person's riding their scooter. They're using the crosswalk, but something happens right there. That little piece that kind of like dips, but you know, sometimes it has a different texture to it than the sidewalk. It dips so that you can go on the crosswalk, probably with like wheelchair and stuff like that. So the bird scooter, or whatever the scooter's called, hit that, and then look at what happens. They go tumbling on the sidewalk, on the crosswalk, boom, falls right down. They can't get up right away because they're kind of knocked, and then the car runs them over. How did the person in the car not see them? Oh my God. The driver runs over an 18-year-old after she falls off her scooter, her electric scooter in Tennessee. How? And then drags her, apparently, because she disappears from the crosswalk. I'm sorry, but this begs the question, how can that driver not see her? Were they not looking at? I would have been like, what? They didn't see her and just drove forward and ran right over her and then dragged her. I don't even know if this woman's alive. OMG. 18-year-old reportedly fell off a bird scooter in the Memphis intersection. Got hit when a driver pulled forward on the green. The driver wasn't arrested, but reportedly got cited for not paying attention. And the teen was released from the hospital. Oh, wow. She survived that. Damn. That's good. So what was distracting the driver? You have to wonder. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Hot tamales. Well, that's pretty crazy. There was another post here from 2025, November 2025. I'm not sure which country this is from, but they have a picture of the Bird scooters. I didn't realize Bird was an international brand. I'll be honest with you. I thought that was just a name that somebody here came up with. Because again, I'm not really following the scooter world too much. But have a look at this, and then I'm going to read this caption because this is really, really interesting. So again, they took a picture of the Bird scooter. It says no sidewalk riding. So not even these are supposed to be in the sidewalk, which if that means that if they're in the street, they should be street legal. Okay. So this person has a very lengthy, I'm going to kind of scan through it. Saying, why did Eau Claire end its contract with Bird scooters? And it says it's worked hard to build a walkable, welcoming, community-centered city. Where's Eau Claire? Hold on. Let me just search and see where this is, because I'll be honest, I have no clue where this is even. And then they go on. Okay, so this is Wisconsin. Morning, caller.
Morning, Sandra.
How you doing?
Not too bad. Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, same to you.
Thought I'd chime in on this scooter chat. Only because it's somewhat of a piece that ties into the Honda Fit Sigma as well. And yeah, so Bird is basically obviously a franchise. It's a company that franchises their products.
Yeah, I didn't even know that, to be honest, but now I'm realizing.
Yeah, there's a number of other ones out there, but this one is one who's gotten a lot of recognition. Yeah, they are rapidly losing or have lost any sort of understanding by the general public throughout the U.S. or the U.S. citizens, U.S. cities. I can tell you,
even in Europe,
COVID. Yeah. In fact, Europe, I think they've even taken a harder line, but and for a number of reasons. Number one, they were being used by thieves for the snatch and grabs for cell phones and purses and whatnot. I can tell you, post COVID, when everybody was dying to get off island, I took a trip to Austin, Texas, which is one of my favorite cities to visit, and, other than visiting my friends. And I just couldn't help but notice they literally were on the sidewalks like trash, just strewn everywhere. You literally would have to stop. It's almost like you went into a kid's playroom after they just had their friends over and had a massive play session, and stuff's just strewn everywhere. But the primary reason, so obviously this is unsightly sorry, but the primary reason to one of the things that, and I asked around what they were saying is that operators of the scooter are breaking people's ankles because they're operating at a very high rate of speed on the sidewalks. And so they were causing significant bodily injury to the people in the U.S. And to see that in the U.S. and any major cities usually have infrastructure for bike lanes, sidewalks and all of these other different things. Cayman, we don't, right? So it sort of compounds it more for us. But everybody's talking about the safety of this and safety of that. Here's a simple fact of the matter is, we had a very tragic accident, I think 2 years ago now, or maybe a year, where a gentleman in a bicycle rode into the back of a vehicle that was left on the side of the road and unfortunately broke his neck and passed away.
That was the one down by the Kimpton. So sad.
So I brought that point up just to say that you can kill yourself pretty much in anything. You can even drown in an inch of water.
Yep.
So what my pet peeve is here is this nanny state mentality. We need to get back to the point where, like I always used to tell the mother of my children, you need to let them hurt themselves. Obviously, there's the level of supervision, which we already have the infrastructure in place. But kids have to, and people have to experience certain things. That is why we have a lot of mindless people walking around, because they have been mollycoddled and huddled over and protected to the point where they don't even know the dangers they expose themselves to. And I'm speaking very basically, but it sounds hilarious when you sit down and talk to amongst your friends. but it's actually a reality. I mean, the level of absent-mindedness and lack of thought that I see some, especially the younger generation, just because they haven't been exposed to it, because as parents, we're trying to stop them from getting hurt. But the reality is this: the more numbers of anything you have, the higher number of incidents. These incidents with Honda Fits has nothing to do with the fact that they're Honda Fits. It has everything to do with the fact that the people operating them have no experience or are poor drivers and are not paying attention to the road. So when people say, "Oh, Honda Fit, stay away from that," yeah, stay away from the driver, don't stay. But the vehicle itself isn't causing the problem. It's the operators. And the same thing with the bird scooters or anything else. It's the people operating them. And it's that broken window syndrome too. You let something go, and it keeps growing. And I said this to you late last year, when you brought up this conversation as well, talking about coming in. The fact, and this is a perfect example, that the police took a position, and I know this because they told this to my mother. They took a position when my mother reported her phone stolen, literally had the video of the guy taking the phone and had a picture of the guy who stole the phone because she left it on the counter at the pharmacy in town. And she went back, and the police said, "You need to deal with it. We don't have the time to deal with it. We got bigger fish to fry." That was obviously being paraphrased, right? Because I personally then I got involved, and that's basically what we were told. Even though we had a picture and everything, because what was it? It was a $500 phone, whatever. In the grand scheme of things, we're going to expend more resources trying to recover a measly $500 phone. Take your losses and run and pay more attention next time, was the general attitude we got, which is the same attitude we're having with the lack of enforcement of this. Because it's been almost a decade now that these things have been filtering into the island in one form or another. And nobody's done anything.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I agree that it went far too. I mean, I agree with you there that it went far too long before.
So my point though is that people always keep going on about, oh, these scooters this and these electrical bikes that and everything. Yes, we have to have and strictly enforce them. But people seem to think that the moment the police announce that they're going to start reinforcing the law or going to create a law to do something, that fixes the problem. When we know that's obviously not the case. I was at Kamana Bay last weekend, and I saw this guy. I'm talking about if he wasn't doing 20 miles an hour, he wasn't doing anything on the crescent with all of these kids on a Friday, and he was blasting through there to the point where I actually jumped up because I was like, and I know I see that Kamana Bay's got their brand new electric brakes now with the police light flashing and everything on there. You can see they were brand new, so it looked like they were testing out their toys. They need to lock down people like that because that guy would have literally killed a child if he had impacted one of them running across, which they often do. Point simply is this: focus more on actually enforcing the law of what we currently have. And as Mr. Ezra Miller has been preaching for donkey years, whether it's immigration law, vehicular law, marine parks law, and everything else, enforce them on a consistent basis, and you will have adhesion to the law. But a lot of the problem, and I maintain and I contend this all the time because I even see the police themselves doing it. When you import people from certain jurisdictions that their laws are ad hoc adhered to, they are desensitized to what we're expected to be done here. And then moreover, and this is my sympathy for the police, it ain't an easy job, and I sure as hell don't want to do it. So I thank those who step up to do it, those who are competent and willing to do it, to step up to do it. But the reality is when you have a certain amount of resources, there's also so much you can do.
Yeah.
So the scooters at the end of the day are something that needs to be dealt with. But at the end of the day, it is not this terrible contraption here that cannot be properly enforced, could be used and beneficial to all and actually reduce our traffic, because the people who are operating these things are now going to be pushed back to buying the cheapest vehicle possible, and that's just another car on the road. That's the thought. Have a good day.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it, Eddie. I mean, $750, and then you do insurance. You're still getting away for $1,200, maybe $1,300, $1,400, that's still cheaper than any vehicle you can buy. I mean, I don't know what kind of vehicle you're going to get for $1,200, but probably not much. Listen, let me remind you that the University College of the Cayman Islands this past year in 2025 have been celebrating their 50th anniversary, and they're having a 5K event this weekend on Sunday, January the 11th. They're starting, and the sort of event base is going to be at the UCCI campus there in Walkers Road. It's a 10K. Oh, I thought it was a 5K. Oh boy. Sorry, folks. 10K. Georgetown Loop. That is used for longer distances. So that's the course area. They have, what is that 5K, 25K finish detail, 25K finishes on Warwick Drive off of Seafarers Way with a shuttle back to UCCI. 25K. Whoa. Back it up. So they have different distances. So you can do the Ultra, which is a 50K, I guess, for their 50th anniversary. That's approximately 31 miles, and you're just looping. That's crazy. Sorry. I know you enthusiasts, you runners are probably like, oh, great, let's go out there and do a marathon. All right, then you have a 25K, which is approximately 15.5 miles. And you have a 50K relay, which is a 5-person team. Each runner does a 10K loop. Then you have a 10K, and you also have a 5K fun run/walk. They're ambitious. 50K, 31 miles. Good luck to you all. They get started early in the morning. If you want to do the 50K, that's starting at 5 a.m. If you want to do the 25K, that's starting at 5 a.m. If you want to do the 50K relay, that starts at 5 a.m. And if you're going to do the 10K or the 5K, those start at 6 a.m. So you got to sleep in a little bit longer. You can do online registration. So you visit the UCCI event page, click on the register now link, and you can also do in-person pickup and on registration day. You just got to get there earlier. So today, Friday, January the 9th, you can go by UCCI from 3 p.m. until 7 p.m. to get registered. You can also do Saturday, that's tomorrow, January the 10th, from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the UCCI Sir Vassal Johnson Hall. So, let me tell you, that sounds like a lot of fun for some of you. 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm just starting to sleep. So I can tell you, I'll be dreaming about you guys out there.
2026 is your year.
Time to ditch the excuses and finally crush that resolution.
The UCCI 50th Anniversary Race Series taking place this weekend has you covered.
Leisurely 5K with the family? We've got you.
Ready to go beast mode on a 50K Ultra? Bring it on.
Or want to do something in between? Or even race with friends? We have something for everyone.
5K, 10K, 25K, 50K. No judgment, just results.
Every step supports local education and scholarships right here in Cayman. 50 years of UCCI. One unforgettable run.
Register at ucci.edu.ky/events/50K marathon.
Make 2026 the year you actually do it.
2026 is your year.
Time to ditch
all
the
right,
excuses
folks,
and finally crush that resolution.
The UCCI 50.
All right, there you go. We'll post it on social media. If you're interested, you can reach out to UCCI and their website and register for that event for more details. So if you're ambitious, you can do the 5K, the 25K, or the 10K. And if you feel like, I want to support it, but I want to have more of a relaxed vibe, go out there and do the 5K, folks. Good for them. So Andrew says, yes, they were doing the snap and grab thieves. Oh, I did not even know that was a problem with the scooters, but I could see how that would work really well. And you can't really run up to them. You have to be Usain Bolt, I guess. Scott says, yes, remove all the safety labels and let nature take its course. The problem with it, though, Scott, and, to Eddie's point about the breaking people's ankles and stuff like that, it's not about nature taking its course, because that operates on the assumption that only the person who's on the scooter is the one who's going to be getting injured. That's kind of like what we say about gangbangers. Oh, well, just let them all kill themselves. But invariably, they kill innocent people. The drive-by that goes wrong and kills a kid sitting in the car. Or they come and shoot up some family member's house and innocent people, get involved. So, we wish that could work that way, Scott, that it would only be the people. It's like the drunk driver who they always seem to be the ones that survive. If it was only drunk drivers crashing into stuff and only them getting killed, we'd all be like, yeah, let them have it, as long as nobody else got injured. But there's no guarantees. When you're using public spaces, when you're using public roadways, unfortunately, that means that there are other users on those public roadways, and there's no guarantee that those people will not get injured. I saw an adult woman on one of these e-bikes the other day at Cayman Bay, like zipping through, right by the waterfront. This was on Saturday, right by the waterfront, where you always have kids. Was it Friday? Was it Friday or Saturday? Because I was there both days, come to think of it. I want to say it actually might have been Friday, now that I'm thinking more on it. But yeah, just, going by so quickly, and it's like, what are you doing? There are kids there, little kids running up and down by the water fountain. Sometimes they just rush out of nowhere. You'd knock one of those kids down. If that's one of your kids, Scott, I don't think you're going to feel the same way about nature taking its course when an innocent kid just get ran over by an e-bike. I don't think she should have been speeding through there the way that she was, to be honest. Those kids are so funny. Do you ever just sit there and watch them at the waterfall? They have the best time ever. Kids and water. They just love water. But there's a lot of chickens. I'm surprised that DART hasn't been. I need to talk to them about this, because I do know they have a culling service on hand, but I guess these chickens are just outnumbering us all. But they have quite a few chickens there now. And these chickens, can I just tell you, they are so ridiculous and so rude. The little baby chicks, they're like teenagers maybe. We were eating at Panny outside, and one had me screaming, like literally screaming, because I didn't see it. And I was like, okay, you don't need to be trying to steal my food. It came and sat right next to me on the ledge of the little bench. And I didn't really see it. And then it jumped up trying to grab food off my plate, off the table. I was like, what is going on? And then the little kids are feeding them too, which doesn't help. So I saw one little kid, he kept throwing food, and then he started chasing the chicken. Not a brilliant idea. And I'm sitting there going, where are his parents? Because you do know that chickens will attack you, right? You chase them, sometimes they chase you back, and they can attack you quite viciously. But this little kid was chasing this chicken. The chicken was running. It was actually a rooster. And he was running all over the place, and the parents were nowhere to be seen until a chicken attacks. Then it'd be a whole scene of something. Caller, good morning, honey Jill. How you doing?
Good morning from the blue. Tell Miss we need to do video calls, because she wants you to see her watching you.
Oh, my goodness. Thelma. Good morning, Thelma Sue.
Thelma. Miss Sandra said morning.
What her name is again? Thelma?
Thelma Lou.
Thelma Lou, not Thelma Sue. Okay. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning. Anyways, I just thought I would let you know this.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can register any of their e-bikes or smart bikes or any of those bikes up here in the Kim and Brack, because when they went to do it, they were told that they don't know, they have not been given any instructions or anything, so they don't know what to charge. They don't know nothing. They have nothing been given to them up here in the Department of Vehicle and Licensing in Kim and Brack. So I'm just letting you know that if you got a bike up here, you should go down there and try to get them to give you something to say in writing that they're not prepared yet to deal with it before the police pull you over and give you a ticket. Because it looks like, again, in a situation like this, one hand don't know what the other one is doing, which is always typical in the culture of administrative government of the Cayman Islands. So I'm just letting you know, I've got several WhatsApp messages from people up here saying we tried to do it and we can't do it. The BRAC isn't prepared. has not been given instructions, and they can't accept our money, and blah blah and blah blah and blah blah. Apparently, Indigo is licensing them online. Indigo Insurance, the online one.
We mentioned that earlier. We actually had Leroy came on with his, you might have seen the bike that we posted on social media. Everybody thought it was AI and it was completely fake. Only the backdrop was fake, but it was actually a real photo of his bicycle. And he's the first one to have been registered and fully licensed and insured and everything.
Well, they need to get their act together in the BRAC. And the police up here need to make sure they don't go get no ticket till the licensing department get their situation sorted out up here. I tell you, we backward up here. Backward. Anyways, you have a great day.
Thank you, my dear. You too. Appreciate it. Yes, we send, anytime we get these questions and these queries, like what Carrie has just said, we send that on to the respective ministry for them to action it. All right, here's something now, why Claire should end its contract with Bird Scooters. So this is a very lengthy post, as you can see, but I'll just try to summarize it quickly. So it says here that they create accessibility barriers, which I hadn't really thought about, but this is interesting. So it says that sidewalks are public, shared spaces meant to be safe for everyone. Bird scooters routinely end up tipped over or left in the middle of walkways, curb ramps, and trails. And this creates preventable hazards for seniors, people with disabilities, parents with strollers, anyone using a mobility aid. In cities such as San Diego and Minneapolis have faced ADA-related lawsuits. Wow, due to scooters. Who would have known? Yes. Blocking pathways. Eau Claire shouldn't wait for accessibility issues to escalate before acting. Number two, they deteriorate the appearance and usability of public spaces. Now, I'm going to agree with this. When you see these scooters all over the public roadway and just falling down and all over, it's not a good look because people don't really, I mean, I get Eddie's point about, okay, it's better than cars for the environment, but I think when it comes to the aesthetics of the environment, it's actually no better. And in many instances, it is far worse because you can have a million of these scooters thrown down on the side of the street. You know, not a good look. So this person goes on to say scooters often clutter parks, boulevards, and streets, especially downtown near Phoenix Park and on Water Street. Instead of improving mobility, they create visual clutter, add maintenance burdens for city staff, lower the sense of safety and care in shared spaces, and a community's public realm should feel inviting, not scattered with abandoned rentals. And to the point, yes, cars are on the roadway, but what you have happening with these scooters is they end up in shared spaces like parks, for example, which aesthetically are normally, you want a park to kind of be nice with the little grass and, birds and kids playing and whatever, we don't have dog parks here, but if we had, you wouldn't want these scooters to be all over the place, just thrown down. So I kind of can see that being a viable argument. Number three, safety concerns outweigh the benefits. So improper use when people are riding on sidewalks, ignoring traffic rules, operating without helmets has become the norm, not the exception. National research shows that there were 150 injuries per 1 million scooter trips. That's UCLA survey research. Nearly half of scooter injuries involved head trauma. I can definitely see that, according to the CDC. And there's a lot of uneven sidewalks, busy parks, and winter climate increase the risk of crashes. The fourth point says they're not even the green solution they claim to be. Bird advertises itself as environmentally friendly, but the reality is more complicated when factoring in the frequent collection by gas-powered vehicles, battery manufacturing and disposal. Oh, because yes, they do have batteries. Short average lifespan of scooters. Studies, including North Carolina State University, show that carbon footprint can exceed that of buses or bicycles per mile. Really? This is so interesting. Okay. Let me finish where my I per mile. Okay. Does not if the goal is sustainability, they're far better investments. Then they say the nearly zero local economic benefit. Money spent on the bird rides leaves Eau Claire. This is a very specific thing to their little city. The model talks about it extracts revenue from an outside corporation, does not meaningfully support local businesses, and does not build lasting transportation assets. Meanwhile, the burden of dealing with abandoned scooters often falls on residents, businesses, or city staff. If residents are paying for mobility, we should invest in modes that keep dollars locally. So that was their own little thing. So their conclusion is if the goal is to enhance transportation, sustainability, and quality of life, bird scooters aren't the answer for their city. Removing them would improve accessibility and safety, reduce clutter and visual neglect, align with community values and sustainability goals, and keep local dollars in the community. So this is an argument for removing them from this city that is located in Wisconsin. Sorry. Eau Claire is Wisconsin. Sorry. All right, caller. Morning.
Yeah, sorry, Sandra. Just to clarify or underscore my point, everything that Dave said there, I would agree with in terms of my point. My point I was making is those are cities with millions of people, and therefore enforcing it or not having policies. What was happening is they were left to do their own thing, and the laws were not keeping up and are still not keeping up with technology and software. I mean, the AI and everything else is a prime example. But the cities themselves had no laws, did not do anything to implement saying, these are harmless scooters, just like every kid riding around. I'm saying that on an island of the size of this, with such a small population, why not? It should not be that difficult. First of all, they should be putting out PSAs repeatedly. And even if it is just, again, tourist drives on the left, reminding tourists that they drive on the left, for obvious reasons, road safety, crosswalk usage, all of these things, a comprehensive PSA program that goes along with a comprehensive law enforcement program, and it then gets the message out to the people, and things could then be managed better. Will the world be perfect? No. But I'm saying it could be managed. But what we've done is the same thing as all these other big cities have done. And that is we've let them in there without any guardrails. The difference is the cities are millions of people. We're only a few thousand in terms of...
Which is, in some respects, even worse, because you feel it a lot quicker.
But that is the point. That is, you do feel it a lot quicker, but also, too, it is that much easier to manage if you have a comprehensive program in place. But that was just my two thoughts, because I'm not in favor of it being run and left as the way it is. I support that you're implementing this whole thing. But what I'm saying is, if managed properly, it goes and it would be tied into the bigger picture of our national transportation plan, which I'm willing to bet there's very little to nothing that would address these kind of things, except to say a traffic law says this, and that should therefore deal with that.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
Yep.
Thank you.
Gotcha. Thank you so much, Eddie. Appreciate it. All right, folks, we're going to be ending the show on time today because I have got a busy day scheduled for a Friday. What can I say? Work doesn't end just because it's Friday, honey chill. Kiss Matite says, Styles breezy. Andrew says, fire risk due to overheating and batteries, property risk. Hadn't thought of that. Andrew says the bike scooters need to have brake lights, indicators, horn installed, and working for inspection to be roadworthy and pass. Then insurance paid, just like any other motorbike. Yeah, because, the lack of these things, if you don't see them coming and they're like behind you, they don't even have a little toot-toot, a little horn or nothing that they can tell you that they're coming. Andrew says the biggest problem is we need a proper transportation infrastructure. Well, that for sure. I mean, we do need that regardless. But hopefully soon come. I don't know. Hopefully. We need to talk to the minister about that. We're going to invite him on the program very, very soon. Speaking of inviting people on the program, we're hoping to have the Honorable Ralston Anglin on the program soon. We also are hoping to have the Honorable Premier, Mr. Andre Ebanks, on the program. And we invite, Mr. Minister Isaac is actually overseas right now and doing something within the region. So when he's back, we're going to invite him in the program because there's some things coming up in his ministry. And we'd also like to invite all of the ministers, all of the government ministers, elected officials are welcome to reach out so they can come on the program. Now, let me say this. You guys will remember that when Minister Miles came on, he said one of the finer points that he said is that we don't reach out to him like when we're going to publish something or anything of the sort. Well, I'm here to tell you that we reached out to the minister. Let me give you some dates here because I don't want to get this wrong. We did reach out to him about a story that we were potentially looking at on the 6th, and it was probably the day before. I think we sent it on Monday, and he read it on the 6th at 6:27 a.m. And I can tell you that he has not responded to it. So what is the point of complaining that CMR and Wendy Ledger publish stories where they don't reach out to you when we have reached out to you in the past and we reach out to you now and you don't even respond at all? So you not responding means the next time I have a query for you, am I going to waste my time, hold off on my story, waste my time sending a query, knowing full well that you're not going to respond? I'm just saying. You see how this becomes a little bit of quid pro quo here, and it just doesn't make any sense. Time is valuable. Time is money. And if you know that someone isn't going to respond to you, what are you reaching out to them for a comment? The email was read. We got a read receipt. And it was ignored. No response whatsoever. Not even a acknowledgement of a thank you for your email. Nothing. So what a pint. What is the pint of sending email correspondence? Miss Marjorie says business without advertising is like winking at a girl in the dark. How does this connect to what we're talking about, Miss Marjorie? I'm a little bit lost. Who should be advertising? That's a funny saying, though. Winking at a girl in the dark. She's definitely not going to see it. All right, honey child. Again, we're looking for the owner of this bag. This gentleman, his name is, hold on. I think it's Jackson or Johnson. Let me double check. His name, Roy George Jackson. We have your bag that contains important documents in it, your official documents, including multiple passports. Please reach out to us, Mr. Jackson, if anybody knows him, originally from St. Andrew, Jamaica. We would like to be able to get Mr. Roy George Jackson his passport and stuff back. He looks like he's been a Cayman for a while because he actually has BOTC. So he has a Cayman passport. It says BOTC in it. So Mr. Roy George Jackson, please reach out to us. I'm sure you'd like to have your original. There's one here. It looks like his very first passport that he had. It has like an old time picture in it from way back when. He doesn't look like that anymore. We can tell from the newer passports. But we would like to reunite you with your passports. I'm sure you want to keep these for, good old memories or whatever. So if anyone knows Mr. Roy George Jackson, please advise him that we have his passports. Look at this when he was a young thing. Yes, sir. And, we'd like to be able to get you your passports back. And I don't know what else was in it. It could have been other things as well. So reach out to us, Mr. Roy George. Let me see here. Dun, 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 dun. This is a newer picture of him. There he is. Anybody know this gentleman? Tell him to reach out to CMR. Okie dokie. Marshall says she would she would see the wink, I guess, if she's a night owl. You're too funny. And this is, when Leroy was telling me about the accessories and stuff, let me tell you something. This is a good business. If some of y'all been sitting back thinking, oh, I want to open my own business, be the first to start supplying all of these accessories for these things. I was thinking about this earlier. My brain is always thinking business. I have a brain of an entrepreneur because every time I see a problem, I'm like, what's the solution? Problem. A lot of people may not have time to go and register their scooters and do all of this. I mean, I don't know how much time they have for their e-bikes and whatever. Start up a little business, charge them a little $50 for your time, for you to run around and do it. And then you do it for them. Just like people who do car registration. There's things that might come up out of this for you. So, why not? Think about how to profit and offer the service that is needed. And at the same time, maybe put a few dollars in your pocket, honey child. All right, folks. Wishing you a very happy and safe weekend. Of course, CMR is always keeping an eye on all of the news for you when and if things happen, whatever they are, breaking news. You can count on CMR to update you and bring you the latest information. So appreciate all of you joining the program today, as always. And I am going to do a couple social media posts. I've got some client work that I have to do, and then I actually have to go into town for a few appointments as well. So busy day for me. I'm sure a lot of you are busy at work as well. So please, let's all make it a safe one, especially on the roadways that we all share together. Until Monday morning, this has been another episode of The Cold Hard Truth. Have a safe and wonderful weekend.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.